Hey out there, everybody watching in Instagram land. Thank you so much for joining me for the first happy hour at home with the San Diego Brewers Guild of 2021. Obviously, some things were happening last week, so we just thought it might be a little bit better if we had people focus on some bigger issues than what was happening here, even though, I mean, this is very important. Like, we should obviously all be paying attention to me all the time. But I'm so glad that you guys were able to come back for this week. So yeah, 2021. It has been quite a ride already. Hopefully everybody has some beers to drink. I know that I do, but we will get to that in just a second. First, let's talk about who we are going to have on this week. We are going to have Dan from Arcana. I just literally right this second realized I've never actually said that name out loud, but in Carlsbad, so we look forward to checking in with our friends up in North County. Then we are going to go really far north and bring on Joanne from the Bay Area Brewers Guild to talk about California Craft Beer Week, which is coming up. It should be interesting, should be a little different than, the normal California Craft Beer Week, obviously. Then we are going to hop over to Duckfoot, no pun intended, ducks. Foot. Anyway, Matt, you know him, you love him. We're going to have him on. We're going to chat about what's going on over at Duckfoot. And then one of my personal favorite guests, the First Lady of San Diego Beer and now Madam President of the Brewers Guild, Virginia Morrison from Second Chance Beer Company. We are going to see what the presidency looks like for her. What an interesting role to be filling in such a tumultuous week for other people in such a power position, but no comment. We won't get too political. I always say that and we always get a little political, but that's okay. Anyway, but some news. Actually, wait, what am I doing? I'm totally jumping the gun here. We've got to crack our beers. So this week, I've got an Abnormal Boss Pour. It's a San Diego India Pale Ale. So let's just, all right, now that I've shown it to you, I get to put it in my little koozie. It is, let's see, do you feel like a boss? It's the Boss Pour. I do feel like a boss, and I love that you guys join me every week as I boss it up. So let's check it out. That's good. That's good as hell. No lie about it. That's really good. I think it's 7.1. Now it's stuck in here, so I can't get it out. 7.1 ABV. I did check what the hop profile was on it. Simcoe, Whole Leaf Cascade, Nelson, Sauvin, and Citra. Yeah, I mean, it's super, super aromatic. It's dry, but also juicy. Super delicious. Tons of hop flavor, super dank, not really mouth-puckeringly, astringently bitter or anything like that. Mostly aromatic hops, on the front of the of the taste, and it's that's really good. I think I'm gonna accidentally drink that really fast. So anyway, yeah, I mean that's a pretty solid set of hops that they've got picked out there. But the folks at Abnormal, they know what's up. They know how to do it. They know pastry stouts. They know IPAs. I'm ready to drink the hell out of that. So I think this might be my last one from the 4-pack that I got, which is depressing. I'll have to get some more. But anyway, I recommend it. Boss Pour by Abnormal. Check it out. San Diego IPA. But now we can hop into some news. Obviously, the CBC, so the Craft Brewers Conference, which was supposed to be in San Diego here in, the springtime, they just announced, I think yesterday, that it's obviously not going to happen because obviously that is to the surprise of no one. And they're moving it to meld with GABF or something. It's moving back to Denver and we'll see. I don't know exactly what's happening. And even that's up in the air because I'm not trying to go hang out at a festival with 50,000 people. So who knows? But it kind of doesn't matter because there are still things that are happening in San Diego before that, during that, as you wait, even if you go to Denver, doesn't matter. Let me tell you about a couple of the things that are happening. Hops and Harvest beer pairing dinners. Miho Catering, they do it every month. It's a fundraiser for the Brewers Guild to help us keep doing our mission of supporting San Diego local craft independent breweries. So every single month, it's a different brewery with 4 dishes that are plated by Miho Catering. And so this is a great way to support local breweries, to support a local, food vendor and things like that. And I did the one with Pure Project, and it was epic. Like, the food is amazing. The price is right. You get a ton of beer. You get a ton of food. I really cannot recommend them highly enough. So check them out. If you go to sdbeer.com, there's definitely information. That's the Guild website. There's definitely information about the Hops and Harvest beer dinner. We've got a couple coming up. It looks like next week is with Athletic. So that's kind of interesting if you guys are doing dry January or not, and you just want to try the Athletic non-alcoholic beers. Definitely check that out. February 5th, Belching Beaver. February 19th, Ruler. March 5th, Harland. March 19th, Border X. And April 2nd is AleSmith. So obviously, some insanely great breweries lined up, some insanely great food lined up. Check it out. Hops and Harvest beer dinner, sdbeer.com. You cannot go wrong. But while you are on sdbeer.com, please do be sure to check out the job board, the San Diego craft beer job board that is being put together and has jobs listed. And if you are looking for a job, as so many people in hospitality are, or if you work at a brewery and you are hiring, or really any fermented beverage place. I mean, I know Boochcraft, their hard kombucha, they've got some jobs listed on there and everything like that. So please be sure to check that out. Please be sure to use that as a resource. Share it with your friends, anybody that you know who's either looking for work or looking to hire people here in San Diego in the alcohol beverage industry. That would be super duper great. We're always looking for ways to support consumers, employees, owners, everything like that. And one kind of last little final plug on behalf of the Guild. So for those who don't know, I mean, the Guild, the San Diego Brewers Guild's mission is to support and advocate for local independent San Diego craft breweries. And we do that through, basically fundraising and membership dollars and everything like that. So every dollar that comes to the Guild goes back into the community. So whether you are helping in just kind of a social way and doing the job board or anything like that, like that's super helpful. Retweeting some of our stuff, reposting member breweries and supporting them. That's great. We do have some great merch on there. We've got, shirts and masks and stickers and coups, like hats. We've got everything. And like, they really upped the game last year. Like, some of the design on this stuff is epic. I think I've ordered like 4 shirts in the last 6 months or something like that, because it helps out my local San Diego craft beer community, which obviously we all love so much, or you wouldn't be watching this, or you're just a weirdo. I don't know, but it's a great place and it's a great scene. So we all love it. And, you get something out of it too. Like, you get a cool shirt, you get a cool hat, you get a cool mask, like whatever. Hopefully everybody who's watching this is wearing masks, when you're out and about, because that's like, things kind of aren't really great right now. There's like no beds anywhere, and I haven't gotten a vaccine. Have you gotten a vaccine? Like, I'm definitely trying to get a vaccine like ASAP. So fingers crossed that's going to happen. But in the meantime, enough on my mask bandwagon. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. But if you are looking for some nationwide resources in terms of just like what the hell is going on in the beer community at large, please do check out the brewersassociation.org. If you are looking for California specific direction, please visit the California Craft Brewers Association website, the CCBA. And if you were looking for local ordinances or guidance or anything like that, go to sdbeer.com. That is the website for the San Diego Brewers Guild. But before I bring on Dan, please do remember that this is interactive. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you just have a thought that you would like to share with the group, please do feel free to comment below or ask a question below. We love to, I love to answer them. The guests love to answer them, whatever you want. So let's see if Dan is ready to come on. And just one quick note, if you are a guest on here, please make sure that you are on mobile and not desktop. Otherwise, I won't be able to add you. But it looks like he is ready. So let's go ahead. On. God, that's a really good beer. Really good. We're waiting. Oop, connecting.
Did it work, Beth?
There we go. I see you. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good.
Happy Wednesday. You look like you are in the middle of paradise right now.
One of the beers we grow sage for at a nursery in Vista, so I've been digging holes and planting more sage and decided that I didn't want to drive anywhere until much later. So,
I like that. Hanging out on a sage farm, drinking a beer like that, I really feel like you're winning Wednesday right now. What are you drinking, by the way?
shameless plug, it's our Mosaic Monster IPA from the shop. So,
Not shameless. Like this entire like concept is for you to shamelessly plug everything. So that's
oh, awesome. Well,
so
in that case, it's 95% Mosaic. It went on tap 3 weeks ago, so still pretty dang fresh.
nice. Very cool. I
And
mean,
it drinks good outside or inside.
perfect. Well, how are things up in North County? How are things in Carlsbad?
So where Arcana is, and I heard we call it Arcana, but it's potato, tomato. I don't care what you call it as long as you come in for a beer.
I love that.
But we're kind of in a weird spot. So anybody who has been to Prager Brothers Bakery or Leap Coffee Roastery in the industrial park where their first location's at, we're actually in that same park. So we
Great.
are halfway between Carlsbad PD Fire Station and Carlsbad City Hall. So we've had very nice folks from the city swing by and remind us to follow all the rules, which has been awesome. But we're doing all right. We got a 16-ounce canning machine in about 4 months ago, and that's been fantastic for us.
Yeah, that's clutch. That seems to be clutch. Well, I mean, I was looking at your website earlier, and according to I don't know if it's your latest draft list, but a recent draft list was that you have not one but two saisons on. You have not but two braggots on. You have a graph,
Yep.
basically some IPAs, and I'm just like, my question is, I love you. That's my question, because I love that just that madness board. But like, seriously, how do you decide to have a seltzer along with an English ale? Like, what's the mindset there?
Well, the seltzer, we called it dubious because no one in the shop wanted to like it. We just made it because everybody was whining. We want a seltzer. It's hot. It's hip. It's trendy. It's like, okay, fine. We'll make a freaking seltzer. And it turned out really good. And now we all drink it, and we feel slightly ashamed about liking it as much as we do, but it tastes good.
Hey, man, whatever.
So, yeah.
Guilty beverages, like guilty pleasure. That's wild.
And the English ale, that's something we've had on since all the way back in 2012 when the shop opened. Probably not the fastest seller, especially because San Diego is hop town, hence me drinking an IPA right now.
Right.
But our diehard regulars, yeah. I know I need to get a 4-pack of that. But yeah, we try to keep a good lineup. Our clientele is eclectic. If you make it into the shop, you'll see it's a quirky place for good, quirky people who love beer.
So I guess that sort of answers my next question. It's like, what sort of direction drives your recipe development? So it's part, you got to stay in business, so let's brew a seltzer. Part, like English ales, we got other people turned on to English ales, so we're going to keep the English ales coming. So it's sort of a mix of just drink what you like, but drink what sells too.
Yeah, the one of the braggot items that we have on there is our Black Magic, and I wish I had it with me because it's a gorgeous purple color. It would give you a bright fuchsia in your glass.
Cool.
And it's got mesquite flower honey and black currant fruit, and it starts as basically a high gravity pilsner base with a bunch of enzymes to break down all the malt, so you don't have any of that residual chewiness left in the beer. But it's a great nutrient because the honey doesn't have a whole lot of micronutrients for the yeast to metabolize. And that one's been killer. People love that. And so we occasionally will spin off a different recipe. Maybe we'll do a small batch with strawberries, or we have a passion of monkey on there, which is a batch with passion fruit in it. I forgot where we were going with that.
Just talking about braggots. Talk about braggots all day. Like, this is wild. Like, I think I've been to 2 breweries in San Diego who've ever had a braggot, and people are like, even beer nerds half the time don't know what that is. Like, that's a very, very unique, odd style. Like,
yeah, we pretty much anybody who comes in who hasn't been in and asked about it before, we do have to walk them through. Whoever's working the bar, we explain to them it's sort of a beer, it's sort of a mead, But it's something that we can brew on site here. We just got to tweak a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been to Twisted Horn, if you've been to Lost Cause, if you've been to Golden Coast, it'll kind of be like that,
Right.
but just a little bit more body to it because
Mm-hmm.
the residual grain, proteins, and complex carbohydrates, whatever the enzyme doesn't get. It doesn't finish exactly like a true mead, but we don't want it to either. It should taste like its own thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, the same thing with like a graph. I mean, that's that in between for people who are into cider or even something like champagne, the really dry stuff, and in between that with beer. So, I mean, what made you decide to add that onto the list as well?
I really like cider. A lot of people working in the shop, helping out, friends, family, like ciders.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, we can't brew a true cider. And so being a nerd on many levels, I was reading some Stephen King books, the Dark Tower series. They mentioned it as graph, as a beer cider blend. And I thought, okay, that's rad. Jump onto the internet, going through Pro Brewer, going through all the homebrew forums, looking at people's comments on it. Not a whole lot of churn back in 2012, but we figured out that you can do a 50-50 fermentation, and you can get a super dry if you want super dry, or you can back sweeten it if you want to do that. And people that don't like the thinness of cider really like the graph because it still has the oomph from the malt. For us, we use it as kind of an American wheat base that we boil a little bit longer to concentrate it down and get a little bit of carameliness in there. And chuck in a little bit of spicing, like a small amount of cinnamon and cloves, just so there's something else in there other than the wheat character and just the apple. So it's a fun beer. People that try it are like, huh, it reminds me of Christmas, or reminds me of Thanksgiving, or it reminds me of some weird thing I did in college. It's just...
So you make what you like, but it might not necessarily fit into a lot of guidelines per se.
Yeah, metal competitions are awful. People come in and they ask for the beer every time, and like, why do you ever submit this? It's like, no, we do. Just nobody likes it because there's not a category for it. It's just a beer that tastes good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Voyager, that's an ESB or an English ale, depending on what year style guidelines you're looking at. All of the IPAs are going to fall into either the hazy IPA or the California West Coast IPA or an East Coast IPA category. The Pilsner we do is a German-style Pilsner. So a lot of them are two-style, but things like the Sage Saison or the Braggots or the Graf, that's all weird stuff just to have fun and keep the tap list interesting.
Well, so you literally have something for everyone. I got to add, like, how big is your brewery? Because you've just got bananas stuff going on.
We wouldn't normally have this many beers on tap. Obviously, if we're fully open, we'd probably have sold out of a couple of the smaller batch rounds of stuff that we have on right now, like the Apricot Saison. That, it still tastes great, but we normally would already be sold out of it if we could have people hanging out, have the doors open, enjoying the warm, sunny weather at the end of summer or any of summer.
Yeah.
So this year, nobody knew where we were going to be at this point. I think everybody was a little more optimistic about, hey, we're going to get vaccines. This shit's going to be at a better place than we are now. And so as a production standpoint, we read some of the comments. We tried to keep our schedule relatively similar to where it would be, but maybe instead of doing a full, for us, full would be 7 barrels. We'd dial it down to 3.5 barrels or 2.5 barrels.
Got it.
But since the vast majority of it has been to go, except for those glorious months where we were able to use our parking lot patio.
Yeah.
So the list is a little bit bigger right now than it would generally be for this time of year.
Well, and
but
getting back to that, the parking lot drinking, I certainly hope we get to that sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed. Everybody wear your masks, please. Thank you so much. Keep doing that.
Yeah. We didn't fall into the ocean, everybody. It's okay to drink outside.
Yeah. Well, where can people keep up with everything that's happening at the brewery? Is social media the best? Do you have a newsletter?
Social media is absolutely the best. We're on Instagram at Arcana Brewing. That's the same for our Twitter, Facebook, and arcanabrewing.com. But Instagram is absolutely our most current posting.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, Bologna Gourmet just jumped in. They did food for us when we were doing all the catering for the last umpteen months. So if you like Italian food, pop in, grab some stuff from them, and then grab a couple beers from us to take it down to the beach or something.
That sounds like a winning combination to me. Thank you so much. It was great to chat with you. I am definitely interested in trying some of these saisons, these braggots, these grafts. I mean, I love where your head's at. Good luck with everything, and cheers for now. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Beth. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. All right. That was Dan from Arcana, and thank you so much for telling me how to pronounce it, because I am like comically bad at pronouncing things. Seriously, you should ask my mom. She's made fun of me my whole life. But we are going to keep things rolling, and we're going to keep going up north with Joanne from the Bay Area, which will be very exciting. Hi, how you doing?
Good. I hope it's not too bright. I figured I'd get outside and try to get some sun.
What's the temp there for you right now?
Oh, it's got to be close to 70 now, which is pretty sweet. It's been overcast and rainy, so.
Yep, we're close to 80 here right now, which is like kind of bananas, but San Diego January, I'll take it.
For sure.
Cool. Super nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Quick intro for those watching.
Yeah, my name's Joanne. I'm with the Bay Area Brewers Guild. We're collaborating with San Diego Brewers Guild on California Craft Beer Week, which is normally when we do our San Francisco Beer Week. And I brought my San Francisco Beer Week.
Love it.
This is the classic 2012 glass, so going back a few years. And I've got my Pizza Port beer from the Summit boxes. So I figured I'd open this up and get us in the mood. Sorry about the puppy in the background.
Not at all. Not a problem. If you hear a 3-year-old screaming somewhere, that's mine. So it's
okay.
It's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just getting psyched. I'll pour this and join you for a drink.
Heck yeah.
See that? Looking really good.
That is, I love that you are drinking a San Diego beer in a San Francisco glass. Like, that's just perfect.
And that's what it's all about. We're gonna have some fun. So normally, cheers.
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 Yeah, normally
we'd be doing San Francisco Beer Week, but it's an outlier year. We decided to make lemonade, I guess, is a big beer out of lemonade, lemons.
Everybody's making shandies now, so that's fine.
Yeah. So instead we're going to do California Craft Beer Week, and really what we want to do is just try to de-stress and get positive with everybody. We've got some really fun fundraisers and things we're doing, and what we're really hoping to do is kind of get in front of consumers' minds. It's been a really tough time, winter, at least up here in particular. It's a really tough season.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring everybody together, give our brewers a chance to sell some boxes. So we're unlike the event focus of the beer weeks in the past. We're going to be focused on box listings and pairings and virtual events, of course, and just things that, people might be able to take advantage of and try to do something at home. We are going to have a kickoff event and try to get brewers from all over the state involved. And we also have a really fun fundraiser that's going to benefit all the guilds. And in fact, California Craft Beer Week overall is going to benefit the guilds and the California Craft Brewers Association.
Awesome.
So that was a big, thing we wanted to do. And with the fundraiser we're doing, we're taking our Battle of the Guilds with it, which, if people remember the good old days, right? It was about doing a pour off with our fellow guilds.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do something called Zen and the Art of Beer. It's going to kick off Friday, and it's going to run for a couple of weeks as part of California Craft Beer Week.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want people to do is show us your beer zen, what do you do? And beer's not required. We actually, want to invite people to just have a little fun and use kind of January to de-stress, right? That's the month to get healthy and fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of earn your beer for California Craft Beer Week, right? So we're going to do pet zen and beer and yoga zen. So if you want to do a pose with your beer, do something funky, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're going to be giving out a lot of merch for that. We've got this really great California Craft Beer Week, California Craft Beer in general branded stuff coming out. And then we're going to have some gift certificates and things like that. So we think that'll be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing are the guild boxes, which this beer I got through purchasing a California Craft Brewers Association Summit box.
Yep.
Which was really fun because it was great to
Yeah.
get like a couple different, beers from breweries down there as well as up here.
Mm-hmm.
And each guild's going to be selling a box. So really excited there's going to be a San Diego box and an Inland Empire box and a lot of good stuff. So we're just trying to mix it up.
I love that. Well, so San Diego, like the San Diego Brewers Guild is obviously just for the county of San Diego, but the Bay Area is a little bit bigger. Like, what's the scope of your kingdom, your guilddom?
My fiefdom?
Who are your fiefs?
My fiefdom, it's amazing. Well, we actually started as a city based guild. So for many years, it was San Francisco Brewers Guild, and it was just brewers in the city of San Francisco. And we went through a big change the last few years and evolved into the Bay Area Brewers Guild. So now we really go all the way down to like Monterey, Carmel by the Sea, and we go all the way up to Healdsburg, and out to the Tri-Valley, Concord and Walnut Creek and down there. So we have a lot now. We're up around 150 members. And what we did was we created little chapters. So we've got 5 chapters, and it was like, let's have our cake and eat it too. Let's be local and kind of represent the region at the same time. So
yeah, I feel like we've done something similar with that, like in Beer Week, San Diego Beer Weeks past. Like, one of the things that I really liked that had been introduced, obviously not last year because Beer Week didn't happen in real life, but the year before that was like inviting the regional guilds. So like we had Orange County, we had Los Angeles, we had Mexico, Baja, and those people come and pour from guilds. And I love that redefinition of like what local means, what community means, like inviting the other guilds and things like that. So I just love that you guys, the San Diego Guild and the California Craft Brewers Association, as well as you, are just like uniting to do this thing in such a weird time. I just think that's phenomenal. And you said that the stuff starts on Friday, but it's running for, a while. It's really February is kind of when
there's official dates, which are February 12th to the 21st. And the kickoff is going to be February 12th. So that'll be a virtual event. We're going to get those guild boxes out in time for people to drink along with the participants. But really, we want to kind of keep it open through at least, February, because we just want to help our members sell. And one thing we're trying to do is use themes to make it kind of fun and playful. So we're going to have a Valentine's Day theme, which is what we always do for San Francisco Beer Week. So we're hoping that we get a lot of like gift beer boxes and we can get those up. But we're also doing themes around, beer and food and creativity, whatever kind of fun and diversity, because it's Black History Month, whatever kind of fun things people can think to throw around some offerings, and just try to, I think a big part of it is we all we want to reconnect. It's been such a long haul, right? This has been painful. So I know that, people just want to feel good again. It's been really a dark time. So that's really what we hope overall, is that people can put their creative hat on, make some fun beer boxes, and, try to just have fun with it, because, we all could use a little bit of, happiness right now. And if we can find that together, I think that'll be really strong and powerful. And I will add this, because it's kind of related. We're starting to hear that there might be some California Craft Beer Week tap takeovers in other cities in the world to help us celebrate California Craft Beer Week. So, we've got, I know Japan, we've got some friends over in Japan, and they're talking about doing a California Craft Beer tap takeover to celebrate with us. So who knows? It could be bigger. It could be way big.
I'm like, you and me need to talk about that later, because I'm just like, who in Japan? Like, that sounds amazing.
It'll be fun.
Well, and what a great way to pretend that we're traveling. Like, we can get beers that we don't normally get, and drink with people that we even though it's just virtually, like we can see people that we would have just run into at, you know, the California Craft Beer Summit or something like that. So this sounds super, super positive to me.
Yeah.
Where can people, you know, sign up to participate
Yep.
and check in with that? Where can people follow that?
If they go to CA, as in California, CA, craftbeerweek.com.
Easy.
And we're just about to launch the guild boxes. We're just about to launch the Battle of the Guilds and Zen and the Art of Beer. And then we'll be bringing listings on right on the heel of that. Like any brewer all over the state can put a listing in. So I think it's going to really, hopefully, after January 20th, it'll really be fun and really pick up, and we'll all be a little bit less stressed, hopefully.
Yeah, that's a bit, we share that hope, so I certainly hope you are right. But Joanne, it was great to meet you. I would love to share a pint with you in real life one day, but thanks for joining us, and I look forward to celebrating California Craft Beer Week today and always.
Thank you. Cheers. I'm loving this beer. It tastes great. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks. Take care. All right, that was Joanne from the Bay Area Guild, and just what a pleasant idea. I mean, I love the idea of us, like, we're just refusing to not have a good time, you know, like despite everything the world has thrown at us, we are still having a good time. And I just love that. So anyway, we are going to keep things going. I'm going to bring on Matt from Duckfoot, formerly Benchmark. RIP. I love you so much. I want that table beer and the brown ale, but we'll talk about Duckfoot beers because they're great too. What's happening, man?
Hey, not much. How are you doing?
I'm good. Cheers.
Excellent. Oh, I've got to get my beer rolling there. There we go.
I love that.
Cheers.
What you got? What are you drinking today?
I am drinking Jabberducky right now.
Ooh.
This is our latest West Coast IPA. Crazy cool art going on it. It's a lot of fun.
I love that people are just like really kind of just saying, fuck it. Like, we're embracing the West Coast IPA. We're getting dank again. Like,
please, I need bitterness in my beer again, you know? I missed it so much.
Yeah, I love me a hazy, but like I just need, you know, the second chance better days, and just like, I'm just like, please.
Yeah.
I mean, this, you know, this is dank as hell. So
exactly. Well, so I'm going with the slow transition back to West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
The Jabberducky here is Galaxy and Equinaut hops.
Ooh.
So, you know, East Coast IPAs style hazy IPA kind of hops. But
yeah.
used them in a more of a West Coast approach. Actually, the inspiration for this beer was kind of all over the place with these hops and the tremendous tropical fruit character that you can get out of them. Mm-hmm. And they're coming from the Southern Hemisphere and all. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted to make an Australian sparkling ale with them.
Weirdo. Like,
total weirdo. And how the heck would we sell that, you know?
I remember when I was doing the BJCP class, and that was just like one that we just skipped. We're just like, you know what? No one makes them. It's not going to be on the test. Like, just forget it. Like, don't care. I think I've had one that was made in San Diego ever.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm not sure I've even had one made in San Diego, to be completely honest. I've had plenty. I've been lucky enough to get to judge them at GABF.
World collection.
Yeah, exactly.
One.
I don't even know what they were, unfortunately, having been judging blind and all. But I remember going, well, dang, these things are pretty good.
They're good.
And so we kind of took that approach, lighter body, low color, and sparkling, nice and bright, super crushable. Mm-hmm. And then just threw all these hops at it as if I was making a West Coast IPA. And it's a special release, only 15 barrels of it, and I'm doing my best to go through as much of it as possible, because it's my current favorite right now.
Love that. I want to talk about a different beer that you guys recently did. You just got a lot of attention for that Frank Zappa beer. Tell me about that.
The cans just came in yesterday, so there you go. Why does it hurt when IPA? It's the back of the truck opened up, and they were right there at the back of the truck as I'm unloading the cans, and I just stopped in the middle of forklifting them out and went, my God, those are hideously wonderful, aren't they?
They're wild, man. They're wild.
So most everybody in our brewery is a huge fan of Frank Zappa and his work. his entire body of work. And well, Matt Del Vecchio, our owner, found out that we actually had a box of Zappa hops in the cold box, and he freaked out. He's like, well, what are we going to do with those? Smart ass me. He said, well, I'm going to make beer. He says, hold on that. Let's do it with the Zappa Family Trust. And that being, yeah, you know, I'm certainly not going to argue about that, am I? Took a little bit of work, but we managed to connect with them, and we've worked with Amit on this thing. So we have the blessing of the Zappa Family Trust to use his name and likeness and to sell it in that manner. And a portion of the proceeds from this beer will be going to a group that they're working with, which has just slipped my head. It's probably on the can somewhere if I were to read it, of course.
Probably. I was blanking too, because I looked into it and I'm like, man, I don't know, Frank Zappa.
Yeah. But it's raising money for artists who cannot perform right now, and trying to take care of the musicians that have lost their income because they can't go and play shows right now. And so we're really happy to be doing this. It's been a great time. That will be, let's see, we're filling these cans next week, so they'll be available next Friday.
Next Friday, cool.
The vast majority of it has already been pre-sold, and you can still get yours. If you're in San Diego County, you can come on in and order them from us, or order them from our website, duckfootbeer.com. And then you can pick them up there. But if you're watching from somewhere outside of California, we can ship them to you as well if you order them from Craft Shack. So, yeah.
And it looks like you guys, just for San Diego, you guys are doing some local delivery. It's just, I think it's free delivery with like a $40 minimum or something. Is that right?
You're spot on.
I take my note.
Since day one of the pandemic, it has been daily deliveries out into the world, and we're doing basically all of San Diego County. I know one day that I did it, I was down in Chula Vista, and then Carlsbad was my next stop. So you don't have an excuse to not get beer if you're in San Diego County right now.
Very true, very true. Well, I want to talk about one other beer that you guys recently did, the Irish Stout, the Mother Lover.
Yes, Mother Lover.
Because I love an Irish Stout, and like they're just, you really have to be in the mood for them. They're always so good, but like it's not super common. Like, what made you decide to do an Irish Stout?
It's been a once a year release for a couple years at Duckfoot. And well, I personally love the style as well, and so
why not?
Every now and again we get to make something that we like, you know. And so but yeah, we're basically we're committing to keeping it around while it's cold, essentially. And so that's the best I can promise on that. But I'm stoked on it. 4.5% alcohol. So yeah, you get to drink a few of them. Nice soft roast presence. We didn't push it too far. Didn't want to go all the way into the ashtray, you know. But,
little roastiness never hurt anybody.
Exactly. But I'm loving the chocolate character that we've got going on in it, and it's really smooth. Really, I'm finding it incredibly easy to drink. So yeah. Definitely stoked on that beer right now.
Well, you're talking about, you said that you get to make the beers that are, you like to drink, but what's your favorite style to make or drink? I mean, those might be two different answers.
Oh man. Geez. I actually really like making stouts. The brew day on stouts is one of my favorites. The aromatic qualities that issue forth from the mash tun in the morning. I'm hard pressed to think of a stout brew day where I haven't walked in and just gone, man, it smells so good in here. And I go around and tell it to everybody near me, you know, smell that, it's wonderful. All that dark malt in there just kicking up lovely notes. So yeah, I really love brewing them. I have been drinking a huge amount of our Berliner Weiss lately, though. That's kind of become my go-to, to be honest.
They're easy and they're good.
Yeah, and it's fun to brew. And yeah, this right now we're doing some tart cherries in it. So that's Sour on Love with tart cherries. I have a can here because that'll be next for me. Oh yeah, look at me. It's like I'm ready.
Nice.
Look, I'm absolutely loving that beer right now. I brought a keg home last week and probably drank too much of it over the weekend, if I'm totally honest about it.
Rules, there are no rules anymore. Like, we're living in chaos times. Like, get the beer while you can get it, while the getting's good. So
Exactly. Good old pandemic drinking rules.
absolutely not. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and if not, I don't care. It's 11 a.m.
Precisely.
That's fine. Where can people keep up with everything Duckfoot?
All the socials. We're pretty dang active on Instagram at Duckfoot Brew. And then our newsletter comes out at least weekly and is always a good spot to catch. That's going to catch everything. And I've seen discount codes go out on that too. So, you know, if you're thinking you want to get even cheaper beer, that would be the way.
I love me a newsletter sign up, so that sounds good. Well, thank you. It was great to see you. It was great to catch up with you, and hopefully I'll see you IRL one of these days.
Hopefully so.
All
nice
right.
talking.
Cheers,
Bye.
Matt. Thanks. All right. That was Matt from Duckfoot. I almost said Benchmark. Nope, that's not correct anymore, but still, we love him so much. All right. We're going to keep things going with our fourth and final guest. I love it. Second chance. You already asked to be on top of it. Always so prompt. Love it. Madam President,
Hi,
how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I am good. You know, I'm like kind of loving this weird little heat wave that we're having. Like, I kind of love it. So I still get my flannel sheets on at night, and I get to wear my t-shirt during the day. I'm like, this is what I came to San Diego for.
Touche, cashing in.
So let's talk, because I mean, we definitely will cover some second chance stuff, but I want to talk guild stuff. So as of January 1, you are the new president of the guild, and you know the presidency has been filled with people like, you know, Chris from Booze Brothers most recently, Jill from Pizza Port, Matt from Virgin. What, just, you know, I don't know, 30 seconds, does the role of the president of the guild, what do you do for those who aren't familiar with the responsibilities of that role?
So as president, we have a board and you preside over the board. I like to think of it as a really collaborative process, but particularly I like to think of what initiatives you can push that of priority that everyone can agree upon. And so for me, you know, that's inclusion.
Yeah. Well, and I imagine that 2021 is going to look a little different just operationally in terms of those initiatives. I mean, even the inclusion committee, you know, we haven't been able to meet in real life for a couple of months. The things that we wanted to do, you know, in-person job fair and things like that are on indefinite hiatus. So, I mean, looking into your tenure of 2021, what sort of initiatives are you anticipating in what's likely to be another weird year?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, we need some local relief. And so last week, we sent a letter to the new county supervisors and asked them for specific relief for breweries. We're very different than a lot of other small businesses and the kind of capital investments that we have to make. And so relief like getting a moratorium on evictions, or at the very least getting mediation prior to evictions would be really critical for our members. And then there's a program like they did in Los Angeles where they set aside a portion of the CARES Act funding for brewery manufacturers up there. So we would love for them to do something like that here.
So, I mean, is that you working directly with the county? Is that a statewide thing? Like, who are you in contact with right now to make these changes, or hopefully make these changes and push them forward?
Here locally at the county,
Yeah.
at the state, the San Diego Brewers Guild isn't involved directly in the lawsuit that's going on about the meal requirement, but we at Second Chance are with that. And that was another one of our requests locally. Feel very strongly that that's unconstitutional, that breweries have to provide a meal and wineries do not. So we just that once we are able to reopen, if they would basically lay down an order saying that they would refuse to enforce that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I feel like I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot here, but you know, these are super desperate times for everybody, and especially, you know, craft breweries and tap rooms. And the ban on in-person drinking and dining is still in effect until, you know, God knows, hopefully it ends soon. But the public is seeing more and more places opening either out of desperation or just straight defiance. And in terms of the guild, will the guild be taking any formal stance on member breweries who are openly operating despite those bans?
So as a guild, our role and the reason we're constituted, what's in our bylaws, is to support our members. Mm-hmm. So we are and have always been throughout this really like on the forefront of getting our brewers information, brewery members, explaining to them the consequences of it. And, you know, they have to make their own decision though, as a business. We don't have a code of conduct, and even Brewers Association, who does have a code of conduct, they're not stepping in this area. So reasonable minds can differ, and I can't position, the guild can't be in a position of telling people what to do with their businesses. We're here to support them and try to get accurate information and local relief, like what I just mentioned.
So it's almost like an electoral college in terms of like, you can't say like, we're here to support you, and by supporting you, we're going to say you like we kick you out. It's just like, there might be factions within the guild itself, and you want everybody to remain and you want everybody to do the right thing, but there's really there's no leg for you to stand on in terms of like kicking somebody out or formally sanctioning them or anything like that. It's just, it's up to the individual businesses and whoever's enforcing it at the time, or not enforcing it.
Right. Yeah. We're not an enforcement body. Like, we're here to support members, and regardless of what we believe may be right or wrong, be in a position of kicking a member where then they have less access to resources about education. That's what we're focused on.
Right. Well, and I mean, you know, the guild relies on members. It's kind of a two-way street as well. So it's like, you don't want to hurt anybody, because that also hurts yourself. And that's, it's an interesting conundrum that I think a lot of organizations, from the BA to the state level to the local level, they're finding themselves in right now. And I mean, just looking even at the political landscape of what's happening in the country right now, I even wonder if like this polarization is going to lead to people leaving voluntarily because they don't agree with the guild, or people, you know, I don't know. It's a difficult, people are between a rock and a hard place, and I understand, but yeah, I see a lot of calls for the guild to take a stand on it, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, I don't know where the guild's at.
Yeah, that's just not what our organization is about. We're a trade association specifically constituted to be a resource for our members and to support the spread San Diego craft beer awareness. So we're not doing business, nor would we. I don't ever want to be.
But yeah, I'm definitely not trying to be a cop. So like, let's just get out there. But let's just, before I let you go, let's talk a little bit about Second Chance. I mean, you always have great beer releases planned. You always have great events planned. What can we look forward to drinking or seeing in the near future?
So we have our Winter Wonder. I heard you mention Better Days, and I'm drinking Less Traveled right here. So there is the third of our road trip series. So and then we've got Black is Beautiful special collaboration. We're coming out with our second annual. We committed to doing it annually. So we'll be bringing some peeps over tomorrow virtually to do a little collaboration with that. So look for that. And we've got a couple other barrel-aged beers. Well, maybe next week's weather. But it is technically winter. So macaroon barrel-aged beer coming out, and sticking with the West Coast IPAs as far as this baby and the Winter Wonder goes.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for checking in with us. I'm sure we'll be talking more about guild stuff and presidency stuff and all that kind of stuff, but great to see you. Good luck with everything. Hats off to the presidency. You've got quite a year ahead. I'm certain of that. There's nobody I trust more to do a good job in such interesting times. So
I appreciate that. I'm up for the challenge.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much and cheers.
Cheers.
All right. That was Virginia, new guild president and Second Chance co-owner, co-founder. That's it for now. You know, I said we wouldn't get too political. Of course, we dabbled with it because I'm a total masochist and I love to talk about that kind of stuff. But it's all because we're in the scene, we're in weird times, and it's good to have these types of conversations with all sorts of people. So anyway, we do this every single Wednesday. If this is the first time you've joined us, thank you for joining us. We do it every Wednesday starting at 4 p.m. Pacific time. If this is like the 100th time you've joined us, even better. I love it so much. Great to see familiar faces and people chiming in. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to check out what we've been doing. Please do reach out if you are interested in being on the show in a future episode. We're always looking to have new guests and repeat guests, but new guests are always super duper fun. If you'd like to follow me on my personal page, it is at The Delighted Bite, or on Twitter is just at Delighted Bite. But on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild, Black Lives Matter, drink local independent craft beer, wear your fucking masks, and be cool to one another. Thanks so much. Cheers.